her dad yelled action, she'd just burst into tears and would be sobbing the entire take. He'd yell cut, come over and be like, Stella, and she'd be...
That night in Edinburgh, the red carpet shimmered with the electric pulse of expectation as flashbulbs exploded in a rapid, glittering rhythm, their white bursts illuminating the faces of hundreds who had gathered to witness the premiere of the new season of Outlander. The chill of the Scottish air swept across the crowd, carrying with it the scent of rain and the faint hum of conversation as fans pressed closer to the barricades, phones raised high in trembling hands, eager to capture a glimpse of a moment that felt destined to become part of something cinematic and unforgettable. When Sam Heughan emerged from the black car, there was a ripple in the air, as though the night itself recognized the gravity of his arrival. Dressed in a classic black suit with a crisp button-down collar and his hair neatly styled, he moved with that quiet confidence that years in the spotlight had honed, steady, charming, and impossibly composed. His smile was effortless, warm even in the cold, as he greeted the crowd, signed autographs, and exchanged small words of thanks before stepping toward the press line, where the row of reporters waited like a sea of eager anticipation. Behind him, as though completing the frame of a story everyone already knew by heart, appeared Caitriona Balfe, radiant in an off-the-shoulder emerald gown that seemed to hold the reflection of Scotland's lush hills under soft moonlight. Her hair, loose and natural, caught the faint breeze, and her makeup, subtle yet defining, drew attention to the striking depth of her eyes. When she walked beside Sam, hand in hand, there was an almost timeless familiarity in the image, the sort of chemistry that transcended the boundary between performance and something more unspoken, something lived and felt. Murmurs from the crowd rippled through the air, soft, half-whispered phrases like "they look happier than ever," or "there's something different tonight," as cameras clicked endlessly, freezing fragments of a story that everyone thought they already knew. As the pair stopped before the glowing backdrop of the event's banner, the floodlights above bathed them in a soft halo of gold and white, creating a moment that felt almost ethereal, like a still from one of their most poignant scenes together. Reporters pressed forward, microphones raised, questions tumbling one over another. The host smiled, leaning in. "Sam, Caitriona, it's lovely to see you both tonight. Fans are thrilled about the new season. What can you tell us about Jamie and Claire's journey this time?" Sam turned slightly, his eyes finding Caitriona's, and then, with a tender but deliberate calm, he began. "Jamie and Claire have been through so much," he said, voice low but certain. "They've faced everything that could break a person. Love, loss, war, the kind of pain that tests the soul. And yet, somehow, it's Claire, Caitriona, who always pulls Jamie back when he's ready to let go." There was something in his tone that made people fall silent. The casual, professional distance of a press event seemed to dissolve. Caitriona smiled, her gaze steady on him, her voice equally composed but touched with warmth. "This season," she said, "we'll see a Claire who doesn't just endure. She acts. She decides. She stands firm even when the ground shifts beneath her. She's not being pulled along anymore. She's leading." Her words hung in the air for a moment, and then, unexpectedly, Sam interrupted her. Not abruptly, but with a gravity that drew every eye back to him. "Actually," he said, his tone suddenly serious, "there's something I want to say tonight." The world seemed to pause. Even the clicking of cameras slowed as if the rhythm of the evening had been broken by something unplanned, something real. "Something?" the interviewer repeated, a half-curious, half-cautious smile forming. Sam took a deep breath, the kind that seems to gather every untold truth before it's spoken, and then looked directly at Caitriona. "Caitriona Balfe," he began, his voice softer now, but carrying easily through the noise, "is not just a great co-star. She's not just Claire Fraser in my life. She's an inspiration to me, to understand what more I can do, who I can be." A ripple of laughter and gasps spread through the audience, a few fans whispering, "Oh, he's going to propose." But Sam pressed on, his eyes unwavering. "I mean it," he continued. "She's changed the way I look at life, at what it means to make art, to tell stories that matter. There were times I doubted myself, Times I thought I was just the man with the sword, the one hidden behind Jamie Fraser's shadow. But she made me want to step out of that shadow and be more than that. The weight of his words settled like quiet thunder over the crowd. Caitriona's eyes widened, a flicker of emotion crossing her face. Surprise, disbelief, something tender. And then, instinctively, she reached for his hand, their fingers intertwining in a gesture that was as natural as breathing. The interviewer, visibly moved, leaned closer. "Sam, are you saying Caitriona changed you in such a profound way?" He nodded once, firmly. "Yes, and if I may," he said, his voice thick with sincerity, "I'd like to spend this season, and whatever comes after, showing people something real in me. Not just Jamie Fraser, but Sam Heughan, the man Caitriona helped me find." For a moment, silence hung heavy, not out of awkwardness but reverence. Then came the sound. Applause breaking like waves, cheers rising from the barricades, the flash of cameras now almost blinding in their frenzy to capture this moment of raw honesty. Caitriona smiled, her lips trembling slightly as she tried to hold back tears, nodding toward him with quiet pride. Around them, the night swelled with emotion. A sense that this wasn't just another promotional appearance, but something deeply human, vulnerable, and unguarded. It was as though, beneath the glamour of fame, the glint of jewels, and the calculated poise of red carpet rituals, two people had momentarily stripped away their masks to let truth breathe in public. And though neither confirmed nor denied the nature of their bond, everyone watching knew that something rare had unfolded. An admission not of romance, perhaps, but of reverence, respect, and a connection that blurred the boundary between fiction and life itself. As they turned to walk together into the theater, hands still lightly clasped, the Edinburgh wind caught the hem of Caitriona's dress, carrying it behind her like a small, graceful wave, and for a fleeting second, the entire night seemed suspended between
I feel very, very excited. I'm really proud of Tea Time. Thank you, Vogue, for being here with me tonight.
The question came like a spark thrown into dry grass. "Sam, are you saying this is the beginning of an off-screen relationship? Are you and Caitriona more than just co-stars?" And for a moment, the air around the red carpet tightened with the collective breath of hundreds waiting for the answer. Sam Heughan paused, the faintest smile flickering across his face before he shook his head slowly, not defensively but with measured calm. "No," he said, his voice steady. "Not in the way people think. I respect her deeply. In real life, she has her own world, her own family, her own path. What I'm talking about is something different. The influence she's had on me, the trust she's shown, the courage she's given me to express myself without fear of being judged." Caitriona smiled then, a little hesitantly, as though she knew how the words might be twisted and yet couldn't help but feel moved. "I really thank Sam for that," she said softly, her voice genuine, grounded. But the world around them had already caught fire. Within minutes, the once orderly interview space dissolved into chaos as microphones were thrust forward, phones were raised, and producers gestured frantically for more footage. Reporters spoke over each other, calling Sam's name, calling Caitriona's, while fans behind the barricades screamed, "Jamie, Claire, we love you." The night had turned from premiere to spectacle, from celebration to speculation. Within hours, entertainment blogs and fan accounts were buzzing with theories and rewinds of the moment. Across social media, hashtags like #SamHeughan, #Caitriona Balfe, and #Outlander surged to the top of trending lists. One fan reposted the video of Sam's speech with the caption, "Did we just witness a confession?" Another slowed down the footage, analyzing every glance and smile between them, as if decoding a hidden message from a love story yet untold. Some fans believed they were on the verge of an announcement, that perhaps the pair were finally ready to confirm the chemistry they had shared for years, both on and off the screen. Others, more grounded, urged caution, reminding the online frenzy that Sam's words spoke of admiration and artistic inspiration, not romance. As Caitriona continued her interviews later that night, her professionalism remained unshaken. "I want everyone to understand clearly," she told one journalist. Sam is my co-star, my friend, and a very important person in my work and in my personal growth. But beyond that, what matters tonight is the story we're sharing with the world. The new season. That's where our energy belongs. Her composure was admirable, but even she seemed aware that the tide of speculation would not easily retreat. By the next morning, the headlines were everywhere. Sam Heughan shocks on red carpet with heartfelt words for Caitriona Balfe. The coverage was relentless. Tabloids, entertainment magazines, YouTube commentaries, and podcasts all dissecting the same few seconds of footage from every conceivable angle. Some commentators argued that Sam's words were a sign of a deeper partnership to come, possibly an artistic collaboration that would extend beyond Outlander. Others suggested it was a strategic moment of authenticity, an actor stepping out from the towering shadow of a role that had defined him for nearly a decade. Perhaps, one critic wrote, Heughan's speech was not about love but liberation, about shedding Jamie Fraser and revealing the man beneath, the artist trying to breathe. The theory gained traction, especially among fans who had long sensed Sam's quiet struggle to balance fame and individuality. Meanwhile, rumors swirled that the pair might reunite professionally in a new